What does Oklahoma's defense got to do against the Texas Longhorns? We'll discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, the defenses are going to be key in this one, especially the Oklahoma Sooners defense, as they try to do what Florida did last week against Texas, create pressure, get Arch Manning uncomfortable. What is something that you feel like is a must for this defense on Saturday for Oklahoma to win?
We got to get a ton of pressure on Arch Manning very early. The one thing that Arch does very well is he does throw a really nice deep ball. He throws it in spots to where his receivers can run underneath it and go. Same as what Quinn used to do. The biggest difference is that Arch has struggled on the quick game as well as the short game. So you got to force him to get rid of that ball quick. He scrambles well. So if you built those walls, kind of like David Stone did against like Kent State and what we did against Michigan, and you force that ball to be out of Arch's hands way before he wants to, he's pretty inaccurate when it comes to that. When he gets happy feet, he's not going to throw a good pass. Most quarterbacks don't, but his feet get a little happier a little earlier. So that defensive line is going to be critical. The secondary, you can run like a Tampa 2. You can run a too-high shell. You can run anything for the most part that keeps the deep pass at bay, force everything underneath you. Linebackers who've done a good job of tackling will be definitely leaned on for that. But to me, Stone, Jaden Jackson, Dominic Williams, honestly, I kind of think Stone's probably going to start next to Jaden to start in this game and then rotate G-Baby and Dominic Williams very often. But you got to get good push on that interior. Their guards, their right guard's pretty solid. Their left guard, kind of like we've been dealing with, not as solid. Actually, he's not very good at all. The last couple of games, it's been pretty brutal. So you want to get a ton of interior push. If you keep doing that, man, you'll have Arch in a spin cycle, and that to me is your alley for success.
Yeah, the games that they play up front along the defensive line with the twists, stunts, all that, this is an opportunity for all those to shine even more so. You know, Texas running game hasn't been great. It's going to be a lot on Arch, and he's a really good player. He's able to make plays with his feet. He's able to make plays down the field. This is another opportunity for this defensive front to shine. If the corners hold up, this is kind of one of my musts. The corners are going to have to hold up. I need the corner to make a play. You know, they've been okay. They've done well in run support. I just haven't seen them make a lot of plays in the passing game. Not a lot of pass deflections. We haven't gotten an interception out of a cornerback. This is a game where you have to step up. I got to see Gentry Williams. You know, he had a big interception back in 2023 that kind of helped set the tone for the Oklahoma defense. We've seen Eli Bone out there make plays. Cortland Guillory, Devon Jordan, Jacoby Johnson, Kendall Doby. I need you guys to go make a play in this game because you're going to be challenged. You're going to be tested by a good Texas receiving core, a good Texas tight end. You can't rely on the defensive line to make all the splash plays for you. You've got to set the tone as well. You've got to be a part of this thing. And coverage is great. You got to cover well. But when you're in good phase, when you're in good coverage, make a play on the ball. Be aggressive on the ball and go make a play.
Yeah, and that's going to be critical. You need to just keep that guy in as much hell as possible. Mm-hmm. You got to make plays. Is going to be big. So the second, like you said, secondary, I think the one thing that's good about them is that as long as they keep everybody in front of them, they should be fine. Parker Livingstone, the big, and didn't realize how big this kid is. It's like 6'4". He's a giant human being. He took that shot to the leg in that game, man. So he's ailing a little bit. And then, of course, the one big thing too is that Texas allowed DJ Lackway to have one of his biggest games of the season too. So in a combination piece, as long as you go out there and execute on both sides, should be good. I know our line is strong enough. We're really good in pass pro. The one-on-ones are going to be important. John Mateer is going to run around. He's going to move. Hey, to be honest, if Michael Hawkins goes in as well, just keep moving the line around, and you'll be good with that. make sure that you do some runs and stuff. This defense got to be prepared that they're going to have Manning also use his legs. And so if he's starting to move around a lot, I need those edges to set that edge and force him to not be able to scramble around and get enough time to just launch passes, because most of his launch passes are off target and they just kind of just throw that thing out there. And you don't want to be a victim of him by doing that. So the simplest solution for Oklahoma is do not, and I repeat, do not let Arch Manning scramble around and get plays. He's going to run. He's going to get some running yards in this game, period. Just, you're not going to stop all of them. But the simplest solution is give him very little of those in this game.
When he does get out and run, smash him. Like every time you get a chance to hit him hard. Make him think make him think twice about running the football.
Yep.
Make him think twice about standing in the pocket. Every time that you got to set the physical tone. And the thing that's been most impressive about this defense is every single week they've set a physical tone. And that's from the front to the back. Every single guy on the defense is playing physical. Got to set the tone early in this one. Come out fast, come out physical. We know Steve Sarkisian is going to want to try to get the ball out of Arch's hand quickly. When you get an opportunity to tackle on the perimeter, hit hard, make them pay for it. Do like you did against Michigan. Michigan was trying to run bubbles. They were trying to run wide receiver screens, and you hit them a couple times. Kendall Daniels did. You had one on the other side of the field. Reggie Powers, the third, did, and they went away from it. They scrapped it. They're like, this is not working. We cannot do this against this Oklahoma defense.
Nope.
Come through in the same way. Don't let them get comfortable getting easy stuff.
Got to capitalize also on any defensive plays that you make. If you get, you force interceptions. Arch Manning is not afraid to throw the ball.
Yep.
So you need to go out there and take as many turnovers as possible.
Yep.
And you got to go out there and make them work for everything. If you can jump out early, you got to jump out early. If you can get out there in the first couple of drives and get a couple of scores, a touchdown and a field goal, I think that you'll put them on their back, and it's going to be tough for them to bounce back from that. They are desperate. They are a wounded animal in the corner, and their season relies more on this game than Oklahoma. The good thing for Oklahoma is, I don't like saying this, but a loss isn't that detrimental for us. It is not as bad as it is for Texas. A loss for Texas, they're cooked. Yeah. I mean, that's a 9-3 season. If they're lucky, they would have to still beat Georgia on the road. Remember that. Right? They're still going to have to deal with everybody. They're going to deal with Vanderbilt at the crib, who has shown us that they have the ability to they're pretty physical for the most part. If they don't turn the ball over, they can win games. Their schedule has become a lot tougher with teams that have put together a much better product this year. So they're desperate. We ain't. But we got to win this so that we can go ahead and put the nail in the coffin.
What I love about this team is that they play desperate. Right? They play like everything's on the line every single time they're out on the field, whether it's against Michigan or Auburn or Kent State or Temple or Illinois State. And that's the beauty of this team. And one of my favorite things right now is, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they are really buying into the nameless, faceless opponent. And they're coming with the same energy, the same physicality from start to finish, whether it's the starters or the third and fourth string guys. They're coming with that same fire and mentality. This week, I want to see the offense match that energy from start to finish. Match that energy with that intensity, that physicality, that toughness, that take no prisoners attitude, and really put Texas in a place they don't want to be.
Yep.
We're going to give you our final predictions. We'll go through your fan feelings coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.